with everything that went on with the not only the trial of Logan Federico, but also everything that happened behind the scenes with finding out why this man was on the streets in the first place. Now we have Logan's father is taking steps not only to protect his own kids and his own family, but the rest of the community by trying to make some changes with the way this system is done. Because looking at his rap sheet, which we have, this guy never should have been out on the street in the first place. So let's listen to what he has to say.
And we want to get to breaking news out of Colombia just moments ago. The man accused of fatally shooting a young woman on Cypress Street appeared before a judge. His name is Alexander Dickey. Now, he had a bond hearing that began at about 11:30 this morning. Due to Dickey being charged with murder, a decision on his bond will be made in General Sessions Court at a later date. As many of you know, Dickey is accused of killing 22-year-old Logan Federico from North Carolina. Investigators say Dickey broke into a home on Cypress Street on May 3rd before going on an alleged crime spree. He was arrested in Lexington County the next day. Logan's father spoke moments ago after the hearing. Here's what he had to say.
Support from a community is kind of hard to describe unless you go through it.
Star, I feel that.
You know, and we're going through the worst of the worst right now. The amount of love that we have seen from our family, from our friends, from people we don't even know, okay? They don't even know, reaching out because of my daughter and how special of a person she was. This really is about her, and they're making it about her. We're not making it about us. She needs justice. She needs swift justice. And that's what they're helping us get by taking time, giving us time to do that.
And this midday, we are also learning when the memorial service for Logan will be. Now, according to a GoFundMe page set up on behalf of her family, her service is scheduled for May 22nd. Now, the fundraiser has already brought in more than $33,000, which speaks to the support you just heard the father said he is receiving from people around the country. Now, we are told that the money will help cover funeral expenses and provide support to her loved ones during this difficult time.
So now we're going to get into this hearing that took place where Logan's father is going to speak to the House Judiciary Committee about everything that took place during this investigation and how this could have been prevented in the first place. And it gets wild.
Federico.
Which is understandable.
I want to make sure you all knew my daughter was. My daughter was Logan Federico. Okay?
Sir. Yes.
Logan Federico. She was 22, visiting friends at the University of South Carolina. How many of y'all have kids? I'm just curious. Here's what I need you to do. When I tell you this story, think about your kids. Think about your child coming home from a night out with their friends, laying down, going to sleep, feeling somebody come in the room and wake them, and drag her out of bed, naked, forced on her knees, with her hands over her head, begging for her life.
Execution style.
Begging for her hero, her father, me, that couldn't be there. She was 5'3". She weighed 115 pounds. Bang! Dead. Gone. Why? Because Alexander Devontae Dickey, who was arrested 39 goddamn times, 25 felonies, was on the street.
25.
How about that? How good are we doing for our family? How good are you doing for your kids? He should have been in jail for over 140 years for all the crimes he committed. You know how much time he spent in prison? A little over 600 days in 10 years. He's only 30 years old. He was committing 2.65 crimes a year since he was 15 years old. But nobody could figure out that he couldn't be rehabilitated. Well, you'd have to put him in prison to see if he could be rehabilitated. Isn't that the idea of prison? But no, my daughter wanted to be a teacher. She finally figured it out 2 weeks before she was executed And I haven't heard a damn word from Byron Gibson in South Carolina. Not one word. 4 months, no communication. His biggest concern was that he was pissed off about my interview and how I made him look on the Fox News channel with Trey Gowdy. How pathetic is that? That we're letting our 22-year-old kid visiting friends. It's all she ever wanted to do was visit friends. And she literally was executed while on her knees begging for her life. Her name's Logan Federico, not Irina. And you will not forget her. I promise you. You will be sick and tired of my face and my voice until this gets fixed.
Yeah, he's saying, hey, listen, she's American. She's she's not Irina Zaruska. Rest in peace to her. I mean, this is someone, again, who was here just going about their life, and they were tragically killed. I get it.
I will fight until my last breath for my daughter. You need to fight for the rest of our children, the rest of the innocents, and stop protecting the people that keep taking them from us. Please. You have the power. We put you in the power to do what you have to do. We're asking you, we're begging you all to stop this. 39 crimes in 10 years, 25 felonies. Can anybody here explain to me, well, how possibly he could be on the street? Possibly be on the street. How is it possible? I could sit down in a room and I could explain the whole process of how it failed, how South Carolina failed, Logan, okay? How lack of communication. What y'all did, you woke up a beast and you pissed off the wrong daddy. Mm-hmm. Because I'm going to put it out there, and I'm not going to be quiet until somebody helps. Logan deserves to be heard. Everyone on this panel deserves to be heard. And we will. Trust me. My daughter laid on the floor for 7 hours before somebody in that house recognized that something was wrong. And that career criminal, an hour later, went on a spending spree with her debit card. When they saw his face on a video, they didn't have to do a check. He was arrested so many times, they knew who he was. They knew exactly where to go get him. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic that I'm here today. Thank you for your time.
And shout out, and again, round of applause to this man, because it shouldn't have to come to this. It shouldn't have to come to this poor girl losing her life. It shouldn't have to come to a father being outraged because his daughter's life was taken. There are ways we can make changes now. There are ways we can get involved. We can vote. We can be actively involved and talking with, from the sheriff to the governor to the mayor to legislators. There's so many places and so many things that we can be doing to make changes and make sure that our officials and people that we voted into office are working for us and doing their job. And that's what Mr. Federico is saying here. Now, he did an interview directly after this to where he goes into more detail about what he's going to be doing moving forward and how we can make changes in our own community as well.
A 22-year-old aspiring teacher shot and killed during an attempted burglary. The victim's father outraged after learning her alleged killer likely should have been behind bars. He was only free thanks to clerical errors. Let's bring in Stephen Federico, father of Logan Federico. Stephen, thank you very much for joining us. For all of us hearing your story, we just can't imagine what it's like grieving the loss of your beautiful daughter every single day. First, share with us what happened with Logan.
Logan was doing exactly what she always did. She was having a good time, visiting friends at colleges, once a month, it seemed like, from Clemson to UNC Charlotte to University of South Carolina. She had friends everywhere. And really just was down there visiting some friends and a gentleman that she was dating. and never came home. Never came home.
So sorry. And we have her pictures up on the screen that you provided us. Just a beautiful young woman with so many dreams, as you have detailed to us, an aspiring teacher. It was described that this was a random crime at a May 5th press conference. And after learning more details about her killer, you take issue with that. Why?
Well, listen, random is random. Okay, random is just something out of the blue. That's my definition of random. Random isn't given a career criminal opportunity. And he was given opportunity at several different levels, okay? From missed fingerprints, which they can't even tell me if they were actually taken or whether there was a malfunction of some sort, from deal making to drop charges to, less serious charges. So he's back on the street. If you look at him and his background and his resume of crime, 39 arrests, 25 felonies, and I think a little over a decade. He spent a little over 600 days in prison. That's it. And in one stint, the longest he stayed was 400 days. Something's really wrong with that.
Very wrong.
I'm quoting you directly. You said there are more people fighting for the rights of a career criminal than fighting for the right for my daughter to be safe.
Yep.
You say that there was a series of clerical errors that led to him being able to walk freely and eventually walk in attempt burglary that ended with the killing of your daughter. What is it that you learned was happening along the way that allowed him to, we just showed the 13 of Alexander Dickey's mugshots. You just detailed his lengthy rap sheet, 40 criminal and traffic cases between 2013 and the present, sentenced in.
Yeah, and even in 2013, we just saw, as we looked at his rap sheet, he had about 4 larceny charges, 5, maybe even 6, back to back to back to back to back. Breaking into car, breaking into car, breaking into a car. I mean, this man exhibited a certain type of pattern. Should have never come to this.
8 cases that have involved charges of robbery, drug possession, larceny. I mean, the list goes on. And sadly now, this career criminal is charged with the murder of your daughter, 2 counts of first-degree burglary, among other charges. So why was he out on the streets? Why was he free?
Well, let's not forget, though, one of his charges was armed robbery with a gun.
Yeah. And
it was dropped to a lesser charge of a first offense, from what I understand. He was out on the street because
that should never happen.
The lack of fingerprints that were taken or either lost or just not given the sled, and from solicitors that continuously give him lesser charges. That's why he wasn't in prison. It's as simple as that. He should have been in prison for 10, 15, 20 years just from the previous crimes that he committed before some of the armed robberies. Okay? He should have never met Logan.
Yeah.
So, there's many levels of who has to own having blood on their hands for Logan. Okay? It's not just the solicitors. It's not just the mistakes with the fingerprints. He was given opportunity of a gun. He was given opportunity to gain access to Logan.
And I know now there's a lot of finger pointing and who dropped the ball here and letting this person out and able to kill your sweet, beautiful daughter, Logan. And I know, Stephen, it is your goal to get out there and tell her story and to help not let this happen to someone else like her. And we're here to.
Yeah, we have to. Now the goal is to come together as a community, but not only as a community, but as elected officials.
Yeah.
Elected officials have the power to help fix this. And I need someone on my side. And if they're not going to be on my side, then they got to get out of my way.
Wow.
I hear that. Shout out to him. And again, if you want to support the Federico family, I will leave a link in this video in the comments. And y'all can go and find it at GoFundMe.com as well. All right. Amazing message. I don't want this to happen to anyone. I don't want this to happen to a parent or a parent to have to go through this as well. So, man, make sure you guys are involved and you understand What's going on in your streets? Who's walking your streets? Why are they allowed to walk your streets after they've committed certain crimes? Because we want to catch these types of things before something like this happens. And I don't want to hear about another Logan. I don't want to hear about another Irina. I don't want to hear about another. I mean, we could go on. It's really tragic, really sad. Y'all make sure you get involved, know what's going on in your community. All right. The link to this will be in the description as well as in the chat. Let me know what y'all think in the comments and in the chat too.